Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to set up a scalping scanner. A lot of people only go by the gap. They don't understand how to really do a scalping scanner. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. The same ones that you might pay for the service, you can get free on TD Ameritrade. Even though TD Ameritrade won't show the studies by gap in order, you can actually get all those same stocks if you just set this correctly. So that's what I'm going to show you right here. So if you like what you see, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I have a lot of other cool videos on my channel. So I'm going to get right into it. This is your home screen, which you will see. I'm going to go right over to scan, and I'm going to, this is what it sets up as. This is how you add filters. These filters will be the basic default. So on the very first one, I want to set the price. So I'm going to go ahead and put last, or you can put mark right there. And then I'm going to put the price from $1. Let's just type in 1 up to 75. Some might only want to go $5, $10, or they might want to go start at 5 cents. This is what I do for scalping. So I'm going to go to 75. And then the next thing I'm going to want to set up is your volume. So it's already on volume here. And this is going to be at 100K. I want at least 100,000 volume to show up before I do anything. Okay, I'm just going to scan right away, get that. So we're just starting the scan here now. And the next one I want to do is share size. So shares are actually float. That's if you wondered about that. It's kind of hard. They don't really tell you, but at any rate, so share size is float. And I'm going to set the float at a maximum of 35 million. Okay, so we want the stocks that are really moving and selling the same 35 million shares off over and over and over again that really pop up. Okay, so that's the beginning of this, but then I'm going to add a filter here. So I'm going to add a filter that's a study, not a stock. All the rest of these were under stock, as you can see. So this is a study, and this is the one that people don't think to do. A lot of people don't think to do. So you want to get down here where it says unusual volume. All right, so you want the volume to have increased. You want to fill in this number right here, 50%. So the volumes now from the study, the current bar's volume has increased 50% from its typical average over how many periods are we going to do it over? So we're going to do it over 25 periods. And then these are the periods. So right now it's at day. We're going to make that 5 minutes, make sure the extended is checked. So now we have a scanner that's showing you that in the last 25 5-minute periods, its volume has increased 50%. So those are the ones that come up on the scanner. Those are the ones you want to jump on right away. And this is a scalping scanner. A couple other things you can do for that scanner is you set it by volume down here, so the highest volume. So you're picking, right off the bat, you're being directed to the higher volume. You don't really want to do anything but that there. This, you kind of want to sort by volume, which is, this is opening up on my other screen above me, which is annoying, but yeah, oh, stay up there. Sorry, I have multiple screens, but set that to volume, set this to descending. We'll scan it. I usually set this for only 10. We'll scan again. Now, the reason I set it for less is, and the volume's already in order, is because I have an i9 computer, but I started to set up a whole bunch of scanners, and it actually slowed it down. It affected my in and out trading, and it's a big deal. So then once you've done this, then you're going to go ahead and want to save this. So you kind of go over here, and you say Save Scan. So you're just going to want to name it your scalper, right? Scalper scanner. So it's a scalper scanner. It's saved. All right, now we have saved that scalper scanner. So now when you want to get it out again, you go into the load, personal, and there it is right down there, scalper scanner. So I had another one saved up here, momentum volume scalper scanner. But this is the one we just saved, and it'll just come right back up, and you can scan it. And that's all you do. Now, I will be showing you how to get this over to the watch list, but now I'm going to show those of you who wanted more different kinds of scanner. I'm going to go on as quick as I can and show you some different kinds of scanners here. So another scanner that I like to do is my mid and large cap. scanners. So I'm going to go ahead over here and show you where that is rather than take the time to load them all up. So that was a scalping scanner. We also have a micro small cap momentum scanner, which is very similar to the scalping scanner, only I do this on a gap. So you fill in everything the same, except down here, instead of doing unusual volume, right, you're going to go down here and you're going to go to where there's the gap. And that's under price performance. So gap up, I picked, and then the low up to the high, it's moved 2% above the previous, gapped up. Some people want to make that 3. I really don't want to miss any of them. Again, I will organize it by volume here, and that is going to be your scanner that works by gap rather than unusual volume. So this isn't going to be quite as accurate in my opinion. You get different ones, but I put them both up, you know. So now that's why I made multiple ones. Now we'll do another one. So that was this one here. This is a mid and large cap momentum scanner done by the unusual volume, but also down here the gap. So what I've done to this one is you see the same thing, unusual volume over 25 periods, 5 minutes. Price has gone up, the volume's gone up to 500,000, and now since I did a maximum of 35 million shares here, to make sure I catch every other stock, I do a minimum of 35 million here, and it's going to get all the other ones, but it's also going to mean that these larger, mid and larger caps are going to have a higher volume. So you know, you're going to want to set it a little bit differently, so you're not overwhelmed. But anyway, so that because they'll just pop off instantly in everyone. So you want the ones that are really moving. Now these don't work the same, obviously, as volatile as the ones under 35 million float. But here's the same setup here. But then there's a little bit of something different down here for the gapper to give you a little bit more. And what you do here is you're adding a condition here, right? So this condition, I set it as any of the following. So any of the following, I set that. I'm not going to do it again. But this is going to now scan using this first. It's going to now kind of take it down a little bit and scan it a little bit further with these studies. So you go to gap up on the study. I showed you how to do gap up a minute ago. And then the same thing you're going to do, but you're going to do with gap down as well. So this is going to give you the ones that you might want to short, and the ones that you might want to go long. Like if they're gapping down, maybe you have a pivot point down there and you want to know when it gets there, it's going to turn around, you're going to trade it long anyway, or maybe you just want to do it short. So these are done at 3%, and this is important, say from open to close here, right? And then on a daily here. So this one's mid and large caps, a little bit different. You're pretty much going to get them all. Now obviously you can do anything you want here. You could do, you know, 200 and scan, and it's going to fill up. This is a weekend, so I don't know what's going to come up here, but it was a pretty bad day Friday. DraftKings had good news with the ESPN possible merger there, well, not merger, but $3 million deal or something. But other than that, it's you know, you don't really need more than this, you know, to see what moved. You can tell it was a terrible day. Right, so now again, you just save after you put this in the way you want. I'm just trying to get through this quick for you. You would save it. So now I have another one. So I'm not going to get into the script one, but this one down here, the unusual volume scalping scanner. Nope, I showed you that one. Okay, I thought I had another scalping scanner. Let me just make sure. Did that? No. Okay, that was it. So those are the main 3 scanners you're going to want. They're going to show you pretty much everything you would want to trade if you're a day trader, and especially if you're trading from a little pre-market into like maybe 10:30 or 11 o'clock before things start to slow down, or possibly the power hour. So now what do you do with these after they've all been saved? So you go over here. I'm sure hopefully you're familiar. You're going to see that this is sort of empty. You can get this out of here unless you want it. Delete this. And then you go down to the plus here. You create a watch list. All right, you click on that watch list. You go over here. Now, if they have the pink or purple, this means that they're scanners. Otherwise, they're just watch lists, right? So this is all the ones that I have. So like we want to set up the scalper scanner, right? So we're going to put that up there. Now, this is moved over here, and you're going to want to, I make all my stuff green to connect it. So if you were going to make this chart green here, I'm not going to get in to show you how to do the whole setup, and then you click that stock because they're linked, you know, it's going to come right up. I have it on my page, a complete day trading setup that I use. I use quite a few different ones actually. So that's how you get them over here, which is pretty important that you're watching them. So you just repeat the process. These are in alphabetical order. So now you can get down to, we just did the scalping. Now we want mid and large. Actually, this is the Momo. Which one didn't we do? I think this one. So micro small, green. I mean, I showed you the three that I do. I think I might just grab the wrong one there, but again, I don't need to exactly pull them all over here because you kind of know how to do it. Link them. Now, a couple other things you can do when you're here. I have multiple screens, but you can also reduce this screen because this only goes so small. If you go past a certain point, it just closes. Oops, I think it's like, you can kind of see this blue line will disappear. See, that's as tight as you're going to make that. But if you detach this, right, you can make this much smaller, right? So, you know, and oh, all the numbers are gone. Well, what do I do about that? Well, you edit these, right? So you can get in here and you can customize, and you can, you know, maybe put in only what you want. Say you want the bid and the ask, or you want the symbol and the net change. I usually at least want the ask. So I would get rid of the bid, and I get rid of the last. I'd keep the net change. I'd put those in a different order. You can just drag them up and say, okay. And now I've made this much smaller. So when you go to detach it, you can shrink this way lower. And you can move these this way to do it like this too. So move these over like that. And then you shrink the whole thing. Oops, I should have shrunk it first. Okay. So these are always a little annoying how these things work, but so shrink the whole thing first. Then you kind of, it's a step process. It's a process. And then you move them over a little bit more, and then maybe. Anyway, if you keep messing around, you can get this really tight, and then you don't need as much room. And I just move it over. I'll pull my whole setup over, and then I'll just kind of line them up here, and they'll scan. So that's how you can do those. So let's see, what have I forgotten? I think that's pretty much everything about how you would use your scanners and how you would set them up on Watchlist. This isn't going to be a whole setup for you guys. So hopefully that was helpful for you and quick enough. If you liked it, please remember to give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks.